everyone, this is Alyssa from the Kutztown Writing Center. I'm back with another video that can hopefully help you guys when it comes to grammar and punctuation. So this slideshow is about quotation marks. A lot of the times you'll be using quotation marks in everyday writing, including your essays, and it might be kind of an obvious rule to punctuation and grammar, but it's also very easy to get tripped up and do it incorrectly. So, first, what are quotation marks? We might already know this, but it's important to define what we're going to be talking about today. So, quotation marks can appear as single or double depending on how you're using it. They're normally curved, but they can appear as straight. It really depends on the font. And you can help clarify titles of short stories, poems, or articles. If you don't know what kind of title receives quotation marks, that's another thing you can look at on Purdue OWL. Sometimes it depends on the format and how you're writing. So if it's like a short story, so for example, an Edgar Allan Poe short story is inside a larger book, that's a quotation mark, or poem titles or articles. And it can also help imply a hypothetical situation. So, continuing with what are quotation marks, it can also symbolize words that may have been quoted or spoken by either yourself or another. Specifically, it's another way of not plagiarizing. So if you're quoting something that somebody said in a journal article, putting quotations is super important if it's a direct quote and not just a paraphrase. If you're directly taking it from another work, it's important to also cite, but also add quotation marks. It's also used in dialogue, so if you're doing a narrative writing or creative writing, there's dialogue that needs quotation, such as, she said blank. That would be quotation marks when you're actually saying what they're saying in the dialogue. And it's also used to signify someone else's findings. So if you're doing research-based writing and you're saying, Nancy Evans found that blank quotation. So it's really important to use quotation marks for anything like that. So here is more examples for dialogue-based quotations. So the Rohrbach Library has the best books, said Avalanche Golden Bear. Obviously, you would not put said Golden Bear in quotation marks because that's not what he said. He said the Rohrbach Library has the best books. The other example, I can't believe KU has so many great students, exclaimed Avalanche. Also, another thing is correct punctuation. So if he exclaimed, if he excitedly said something, you put your punctuation inside the quotation marks, which is also super important. So, some examples for single and double quotations, which does trip some people up. When you're quoting spoken language in a citation, your quotation marks switch from double to single. You'll start with double quotations, and then as they speak, you can use single quotes. So, here's an example to help you out. Outside of the quotations, you would say, according to Golden Bear. And then inside your double quotes, KU's president had been noted saying, single quotation, KU students are the best. So the best way I remember single quotation marks is a quotation inside a quotation. It's almost like a sub-quotation, and that's why you would do a different mark to indicate that it's another quote in a quote. So, here's some citations. This is another thing that people get tripped up on. Very important to do correctly. So, for example, MLA you would do, as Golden Bear states, then your quotation, and then outside of your quotation marks, you would put your page number, and then your punctuation. And then your other example is very similar. It can be noted that quotation, and then outside of that, you're going to put your author, your page number, and then your punctuation outside the parenthesis. So very similar to MLA and APA, you do the same thing. So you would have your quotation and then your page number. So page number always goes after the quotation, never inside it. Quotation marks. Here's some more about them. Just more specifics when you're looking at specific quotation. For commas and periods, they're outside of your quotation marks when followed by a citation. If your citation material includes a question, the question mark comes after the ending quotation mark. If you're posing your own question, you can put it after the quotation marks. So here's an example. A cited question in MLA. So Golden Bear tends to ask, what makes students at KU so smart? You would have your citation, period, but your question mark goes inside because that punctuation is still part of the quote. Or if you have a personal question, then you would put your question mark outside of the quote. So lastly, just wanted to give you guys info. If you want to make an online appointment, feel free on our website and check out our YouTube for more videos. We have videos on research. We have videos coming up about punctuation and specific citation styles. So I hope this helped you guys with quotation marks. And feel free to go on the Kutztown Rating Center website for some more resources.